All right. Test.
All right, so we'll move on to how about our idiot inquiry?
Do you have one, Brian?
Gentlemen, I do have one.
And if you listen to last week's episode, it was originally idiot question of the week, and like we said, we crowdsourced, and Brian found the smartest person in the room and they came up with idiot inquiry.
That's right.
The smartest person is Brian.
I asked Alexa to tell me some synonyms for question.
He knows the word synonyms. He's smart.
Question.
I like synonym toast.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So the
It's
inquiry.
delicious.
That's right. So children are obviously, we're getting past the pandemic. Kids are returning to school, of course, and a Missouri school district and a North Carolina county down south, what a shock, are reinstating the use of corporal punishment. So 19 states, including Missouri and North Carolina, allow for this type of discipline in school. So basically, corporal punishment is it's defined as a school
Not
employee.
many people know, though. Not many people know. Corporal punishment, named after Corporal Klinger from MASH.
Yep. Keep trying. That's okay.
Sorry, you can't top synonym toast. That gave me the giggles, and I can't.
That's funny.
Synonym
Yeah, gentlemen, a synonym toast. How about that? Cheers.
Put it up there, Nick.
Cheers.
Synonym
Nick.
toast.
Synonym toast. Thank you very much. We just put our glasses up if you're just listening to us on podcast. So, okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
So it's basically
Very serious.
It's
people are beating children, and we're not laughing. Okay,
that's right. So
Let's get ready to laugh.
School employees have a right to spank or paddle a child as a form of punishment to stop or modify undesirable behavior. So, maybe reflect. Now, obviously, is also take our different generations into play here. So, I'm 20 years older than Nick, which still freaks me out every time I say that, and 10 years older than Dean. So, in my time as a Gen Xer, paddling in school was very commonplace when I was in grade school in the 70s and in middle school in the early 80s. So
Brian, did you get paddled?
I
only gently by one of the teachers that found him quite handsome for a 13-year-old boy.
No, it was a strange thing.
Tonight with Allie.
Sure, hopefully. No, but I went through my entire grade school, 6 years. Okay. And this was literally the last day of school. The last day of school before the summer. Okay. Me and some of my friends.
You were moving on to be in the middle school. This was the end of grade school period.
That's it.
Out of that
the
building.
Very last day of school is 6th grade. Plus, just last day of school anyway for the summer. Okay.
Sure.
Me and some friends got a little, and it was literally a pebble fight on the playground. So we're sitting on this wall and we're picking at the blacktop on the wall.
I got in trouble for a Bam Bam fight once. Yeah,
and everybody started to tell on each other. I was telling Dean this story last day. It was like a sitcom skit. You're sitting in class, and the speaker comes up. Well, such and such come down to the office, and then 5 minutes later, with such and such come down. And so the next boy went down and got the heat and told on somebody else, whatever. And it had to have been at least 5 or 6 of us. Okay, it took us into the gym one at a time. It gave us a SWAT to the principal the last day of school for a stupid pebble fight.
Now, was this the thick paddle?
Oh yeah,
like the wooden paddle.
Yeah,
and then you got one swat.
I think it was one swat.
Two hands. I mean, like a baseball bat to the ass.
He was an older
kick up the
man.
legs.
Easy, Nick. Not the kind of baseball bat in the ass that you like.
I mean, he was probably
blunt end first.
He had to have been in his 60s back then. He looked like he was definitely an older man. Okay.
See, in my head, I picture the principal from Back to the Future in this story.
He was actually pretty. It was weird.
He was pretty.
That's
that's
good. He was
weird.
like a decent, nice man. It was so weird.
What was his name?
Mr. Dangler.
Oh,
I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
Danglers hitting dingers off your ass there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Bam.
And I just picture young little Brian running in. Oh, Mr. Dangler, don't paddle me. I don't know why he's a little Southern gentleman.
It was just weird. I never experienced. I mean, my dad would spank me at home with his hand. You know.
Yeah.
Until I don't know, I got a little older. That of course that stopped. But anyhow, just weird. And then I got swatted once in middle school. So middle school, I asked the kids to give me back my pencil. That's literally what I said. He took my pencil. I said, "Hey, give me back my pencil." And the teacher said, "Why are you talking in class?" I said, "He took my pencil. I was asking him to give it back. Never got my pencil back."
Damn.
Took me out in the hall.
You got wood.
Gave me a swat.
You know what I think your problem was with all this stuff? You were too precious as a child.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Little beautiful, little blue eyes, little beautiful little Brian baby, and they were just like too adorable. Kick his ass.
You had such a spankable ass.
Trying to take me down a peg.
Look at that supple bottom. You get your ass to the principal right now.
He walks in first day of school, fucking principal, biting on his nail, looking and going, "God damn, look at that ass."
I'm gonna whip that kid. I'm gonna whip that boy.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
But it was just a weird. You'd be sitting in class.
I'm gonna whoop that ass.
Yeah, you'd be sitting in class in middle school, and every so often you'd hear it echo in the hall. It was very.
And then occasionally hear one kid go, "Ah."
It's weird.
Daddy, Daddy.
Okay, you're making it sexual now. It's never been sexual up to this point. I don't know why
definitely
you're
not sexual, especially for a young boy.
No,
but
you guys clearly didn't have the fetishes I did as a child. So, anyways, let's move on.
I guess not. No, it was just a weird thing. I don't think for me personally, it was not a deterrent. Because I wanted to be a decent kid anyway. Well, and really, at the end of the day, I did not want to go home to my dad. I was more afraid and respectful of my parents. I didn't want my parents to be disappointed in me. That was really the motivation.
So you'd rather get the punishment out of the way at school and it's done, and you don't got to go home and deal with it?
No, I didn't want to get in trouble at all. I didn't want to get in trouble at all. I mean, forget the paddling at school. I didn't want to get in trouble because I just didn't. That's just not who I wanted to be, I guess. But
do you think those two times that you were swatted on the ass with a wooden paddle, that made you into the man that you are now?
Sure. Maybe
the law-abiding, upstanding citizen that you are now?
It's like I get beaten down every week doing this show in some respects.
Right,
you know what I mean? So it's just
we're only doing it to make you stronger and a better podcaster.
And a better
you're
person.
Like my SWAT. You're like my paddle. Yeah, in some
respects.
That. Yeah.
It makes me feel nice.
But that's it. That's my experience with paddling at school. And it was crazy, ridiculous, and that's what I think about it. So go ahead, Nick. What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, I always knew we served a purpose on the show. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but now I know, and I'm glad.
Yep.
All right, so going through the times, Brian was paddled. You were paddled in school.
Well, there was an actual question here, other than us getting all Nick chubbed about Brian being paddled in the ass.
No, but the question is, well, first of all, were you ever paddled? But then the bigger question is, is it a good deterrent? Does it really motivate good behavior in kids? And what would you think if your kid or kids were paddled in school? Would that be something that you would support? How would you want that to handle? Or are you just like, don't fucking touch my kid? That's crazy, and there's no way that would fly. Even if my kid was legitimately bad, teachers have no business paddling kids.
Okay,
what are your thoughts?
Let's go via generation.
Sure.
We'll get to the earliest next. Okay, so I was not paddled. I didn't live in Neanderthal times like you did, Brian. So I was not paddled. It was not a thing. I remember my brother being paddled. He was a few years early.
It still wasn't a thing, but they still hit him just because.
Just because he just fucking deserved it.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in school. It was just some guy with a wooden stick. He walked by him and just fucking hit him. He's like, you look like you deserved it. Yeah. Nobody said anything. Everybody agreed. So, yeah, my brother was, and my dad they called him afterwards. And my dad was only mad. He would have, given the okay or whatever. But it was more of the idea that they didn't call him before. That's what my dad was mad about. Okay. And I'm not cool with that. I don't strike my children, and I don't expect anybody else to either. You know what I mean? That's not how, I don't believe that that's how you deter children or people, really. You know what I mean? What are you teaching kids? That your boss can just strike you in the face or, shove you in the mud puddle? I mean, come on. That's not how the real world works. Why should we teach them in early stages that's how it works if it doesn't? You know what I mean? Like even back in the day, back in the 50s when you were paddle, Brian, there wasn't, you didn't go into the workforce and get hit by your boss. So why would they teach you that at an early stage? What is it about small, vulnerable children that people back then thought that if you struck them and harmed them, it would make them better? It's an absurd idea to me.
I think they literally looked at them like they were pets. Like you would take a rolled up newspaper and hit a dog on the nose and be like, they'll get it. Like that's literally like the extent of.
Like I peed on the carpet once and they rubbed my nose in it. And I had to pay really good money for that. But that's another thing for another time. But yeah, it's absurd to me. It's silly. And if you paddled my son without my knowledge or consent, I mean, in general, you're not going to get it. But if you did it, literally, it would happen to you. I would go into the school, I would find the exact same paddle, and I would bend the adult over my knee and do the exact same thing. I'm not punching him in the mouth. I'm going to swat your ass like you did my son. And mine's going to hurt a little worse than what yours did to him.
And my pants will be off, just so you know.
Me doing it? Yeah, well, of course.
Right. All right, actually, I'm taking my pants off, and then you're going to bend over my knee, and I'm going to spank you.
Yeah, so there's my thoughts on it. Nick, as the youngest.
As the millennial, I think these kids today are out of fucking control. They need to be taught respect. So you take that shit and lay it down right on their ass. Send the message. No, obviously, everything Dean just said, minus some of the erotica. I would just say, like you said,
isn't that always the way?
Clearly, I'm the youngest one. That paddling was just not a thing. It's a very archaic thing. It didn't exist when I, even to think that was a thing was odd to people of my generation. Was not spanked. I was spanked. I mean, my dad, like Brian said, I was spanked. With just the hand. If I had done something,
Did you say your dad or Robin? My headphones cut out.
Well, yes, both have, but for very different reasons. Yes,
sure.
No, but I.
His dad was the erotic one.
I was, yes. I was, that stopped the spanking. Once I gave him that look, he was like, no more. No, like,
you got
that was
chub.
I was spanked a couple times, not a lot. Like Brian said, it was similar. It was kind of similar upbringing. I didn't want to disappoint my parents. That was never, I really didn't act out much or do much, I don't think, to deserve a spanking. But when I did, it was handled at home, but at school was not a thing. Absolutely unacceptable for anyone who is not a parent or legal guardian of a child. That is a decision that caregiver makes. Okay, if that's something that's the way you want to handle
it's
things,
still silly.
That's on you. But you as a general person at the school have no business laying any type of hands on my children for any reason whatsoever.
You lay hands,
especially in a disciplinary
hands.
fashion. Exactly. So no, and it's just come on, like Dean said. We as a society need to be better than that. That's ridiculous. Like, what?
Right.
You're not teaching them anything. You're only teaching them when they run into a conflict that they have to handle it in a physical fashion.
If you've done me wrong, I will strike you.
Right.
I definitely have had experiences with my kids where they probably deserved being spanked or whatever, what would have been when I was a kid.
Right.
And absolutely. But I always find it works out better by just literally sitting down and having a conversation with them.
Exactly.
Listening to what they have to say, saying that you understand that they, how they felt, but this is not how we handle things. And just take the extra time and just fucking be an adult and have a conversation. Like, that's the only way to teach them. So, nothing major to add to that, but just, like you guys said, that's that.
I was spanked as a kid, and one of the times I remember it was a family. I think it was a Christmas party, and it was like in the living room. I had done something, and my mother swatted me in the ass, and I was old enough to where it didn't fucking hurt. So I turned around and said, "Nice shot, Mom. Is that all you got?" And boy, was she mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was angry. And the only thing that stopped her from just, DDTing me into the ground out of anger was like everybody laughing at her. And looking back at it now, it's kind of it was a dick move of her to strike me, but it was also a dick move to me to embarrass her in front of the whole family. But that's what happened. And so I didn't get. I think that's honestly the last time I remember.
She spoke to you?
That's right. You remember that time you embarrassed me when I fucking punched you? Yeah. Fuck you.
Hope you enjoyed the Christmas presents you got up till you were fucking 9 years old. Never again.
Enjoy that basketball for the rest of your life, dick.
I'll say, Nick's mom has just the right level of the spanking.
Oh yeah, just tell me about it.
Right in that sweet spot.
Tell me about it and talk slow.
We'll talk about it off camera.
Fair enough.
That's fine.
Hi, this is Millennial Nick, along with Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean. Hey, if you liked that video, which we really hope you did, you should like and subscribe. That would be great.